Americans. I bring you the preliminary assessment. Unidentified aerial phenomena. Date, June 25th, 2021. From the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. Now, unclassified. Hello everyone. So today, I wanted to take a step back from some of the stories and history of past encounters, abductions, and theories, and step into the official preliminary assessment of unidentified aerial phenomenon report that came out on June 25th, 2021, here in the USA. So, this is an unclassified report from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. Whew, now that was a mouthful, and it is not exactly what any of us expected. Right? I mean, at least those of us that have read it. At least it wasn't what I was hoping for. Now, I am literally just an amateur ufologist, and I know that I am still learning the slang and scientific terms, but this report could not be more vague. In layman's terms, it basically says, UAPs are a thing. They can happen. Our data set is not strong enough to identify them, where they come from, who created them, or what we should do with them. Oh, but P.S. UAPs threaten flight safety and possibly national security. Now isn't that just comforting? Thank you, government, for nailing that one on the head. Sorry. I know, guys. It's just like, what do they want? What do they want us to think? What don't they want us to know? What don't they want us to think? And if they talk to even a small percentage of ufologists and researchers, they would have a data set unlike anything that they have ever seen. We are literally an online community with so many hookups, resources, friends, researchers, investigators, ufologists, and whatever else you want to call us as a whole. I mean, am I right, or am I clear out in left field here? So how many of you are like me? How many are looking at what's going on in the world, noticing that there is definitely some phenomenon going on, noticing a spike in UFO, UAP sightings all over the world, as reported on UFO Stalker last week? Love this website. Across the site alone, there were 65 reported sightings, 415 total last month, and 4,833 last year. And those are just the ones that have been collected and reported to UFOstalker.com. How many have been reported to MUFON? I wish I knew the answer, but obviously I don't. The point that I am dancing around here is simply that we are not alone. There is something else out there. If it's not UAPs or some type of extraterrestrial life, what is it? According to the report, it could be a top secret source or sources, debris, or maybe a foreign adversary. I have really enjoyed reading the article titles all over the world, including this one from CBS News. UFO report. Government can't explain 143 out of 144 mysterious flying objects. Blames limited data. The Wall Street Journal had this to say. UFO report says unidentified aerial phenomena defy worldly explanation. The New York Times says the U.S. has no explanation for UFOs, does not rule out aliens. And the Washington Post says U.S. unable to explain more than 140 unidentified flying objects, but new report finds no evidence of alien life. Now, these just keep going and going, but it does show one thing. In almost all of the reports that I have been able to go through, that is simply that the U.S. government has not denied UAPs or UFOs as being of an alien nature. It partially seems to claim that there is no evidence of alien life, but that is also coming from their statement. that the data, quote unquote, set is not clear enough to confirm whether something is or is not a UFO UAP. Now, if we go to page 3 of the assessment, you will find this title: Available Reporting, Largely Inconclusive. And directly under that title is the subheading, Limited Data Leaves Most UAPs Unexplained. So even just these headings alone seem to describe the same thought that I expressed a few minutes ago. They are not denying that aliens or UAPs are there. The government appears to want us to have more of a direct way of taking reports. Going back through data, radar reporting, the source, and I would imagine the mental state of the individual reporting as well. It goes on to talk about the lack of ability to take data with radar and how to prove that this UAP that was noted to be at this place at this time or on this day, and be able to sift through the radar specs and identify that UAP that was reported. Now, as I've already said earlier, I am by no means an expert. I have not seen legitimate government or military radar photos, so all I have to base this off of is assumption and what we see in films. I imagine, by now, our radar is pretty good. I imagine it's not just a bunch of blips and beeps on a screen. And you know what I'm talking about. Any of you that played GoldenEye on Nintendo 64, and you're in the multiplayer, and you're trying to find your buddy, and all you can see is the little boop-de-boop, boop, 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 boop on the screen as you're getting closer to them, right? So, I attempted to Google military government radar photographs, and it is standard green screen with the blips and the squares, or shaped like planes or ships. Now, does any of our listeners have any thoughts on this, or anyone with past military experience that could help answer that question? My point is, I believe with all the satellites that we have and military bases all over the world, our radar should be pretty conclusive if there is a UAP in or around at least certain areas. Maybe I am just a wee bit too hopeful in our technology and our ability to research these UAP incidents. Now, as a government entity, but I feel that we should be so much further along in tech than this report seems to show. Now, as we approach page 4, I'm not going to go through every single page, but there are some that need to, be talked about. So, as we approach page 4, I would like to read through the following paragraphs. So these are both found at the top of the page here. It says, but some potential patterns do emerge. Although there was a wide variety or variability in the reports, and the dataset is currently too limited to allow for detailed trend or pattern analysis, there was some clustering of UAP observations regarding shape, size, and particularly propulsion. UAP sightings also tended to cluster around U.S. training and testing grounds, but we assess that this may result from a collection bias as a result of focused attention, greater numbers of latest generation sensors operating in those areas, unit expectations, and guidance to report anomalies. The second paragraph on that page is titled, and a handful of UAP appear to demonstrate advanced technology. Well, duh. But it says, in 18 incidents described in 21 reports, observers reported unusual UAP movement, patterns, or flight characteristics. Some UAP appeared to remain stationary in winds aloft, move against the wind, maneuver abruptly, or move at considerable speed, with discernible means of propulsion. In a small number of cases, military aircraft systems processed radio frequency energy associated with UAP sightings. The UAP-TF, which is the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, holds a small amount of data that appear to show UAP demonstrating acceleration or a degree of signature management. Additional rigorous analysis are necessary by multiple teams or groups of technical experts to determine the nature and validity of these data. We are conducting further analysis to determine if breakthrough technologies were demonstrated. Now, the report carries on to talk about how UAPs really have no specific source, or as the report states, UAP probably lack a single explanation. As it moves forward to explain issues with airborne clutter, natural atmosphere phenomena, USG or industrial development programs, foreign adversary systems, possibly deployed by China, Russia, or some other foreign entity. And lastly, other, that great category that can cover anything, which circles back to the dataset not being advanced enough to properly document or identify what or where UAPs are coming from. Now, I feel the rest of the report really just continues to talk more about wanting to improve their research and be able to identify these UAPs, even sharing the name of their Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, UAP-TF. But you can't sit there and tell me that hasn't been around for years, if not a few decades. Like, how long has that been a thing? It's probably had a few name changes. It's like our own Men in Black, but not near as cool. So I feel I could carry on and on about this report. I am hoping to, in the near future, to read and record the report for those that would rather listen to the report than read it, as it is very wordy. If that is something that you would like to listen to, please, please, please let me know. Thank you to all of our new listeners and for sticking with us here on Overtime Alien. Now, this has been your host, the Alien Narc. And don't forget to check out our sister page, central.utah.paranormal, on Facebook and Instagram. Now, please contact us at cupinvestigations@gmail.com with questions, thoughts, criticisms, what you like, what you don't like, or simply how the experience can be better for you, so we can make sure to properly reach out to those that are listening to us and bring the proper information. If there's anything ever that needs to be corrected or something that we miss, or a year, or a location, please don't be afraid to let us know. Also, a huge thank you to Anchor as one of our sponsors. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies, climb in, buckle up, and continue to join us on an extraterrestrial journey. We will see you all next week.